welcome and thank you for allowing me in your home to do another video on some beautiful food. It's kind of this week again we're featuring the family type of food. So welcome everyone, and we have a couple of people that we want to introduce.
My name is Roman.
My name's Electra.
And these two young wonderful people are going to help me do some meatballs. So let's get started right here. And today's menu, as you have your box at home, you're aware that you have some ground beef. So I want you to take that ground beef, and I'm going to add the following ingredients that came. There you go. Add the beef, and we're going to mix it with all the ingredients that came for the meatballs. And this is 100% ground beef. It's just Angus beef. We make this out. We grind it ourselves. But thanks, Roman. And then we have breadcrumbs, and you can start moving that around. So now we're going to add all the ingredients. Move it. Start moving it all around in there. Thank you, Roman. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she's putting it all in. Beautiful. Perfect. Okay. So in your home and you want to mix it up, it's pretty easy. It's real easy to mix everything in. You want to get all the ingredients in there. Now this is the cheese. We have a blend of Romano and Parmesan. Again, remember Romano is a sheep's milk cheese that has a lot more, I'll say it's stronger and more of a bite to it. And the Parmesan is a whole milk, and you can use that rubber spatula, a whole milk cheese that isn't as strong, but it's more nutty. And so we blend them together. So now you should have everything in your meat. And you mix it up real nice, but don't over mix it. Once it comes together, you're going to smell the meatballs are right, because you're going to create a little bit of a air when you move the meat around. And put your nose down there, and I'll know when I can do it. And you'll know that all the ingredients are together, but you don't want to mush it up. Just mix it until it comes together. And I'm starting to really get that aroma now, and you should be getting that aroma at home as well.
I smell it.
Yep, let me see. Okay, beautiful. So you can smell the garlic in there, you can smell everything. And now we also got to add the milk to it. Mix that in. It's better just to mix it all together slowly. All right, perfect. That's really good. So after they mix it up and it's perfect, we're going to roll about 3 ounces. And what's 3 ounces look like? It's probably going to fit in the palm of your hand, and then the other hand, when you put it over it, it's going to feel like a golf ball. So the size of a golf ball would be about 3 ounces, but make them as big or small as you want. But with the timing we're doing today, taking about 12 minutes to cook the meatballs in a pan in your oven at about 375, we're going to be between 12 and 15 minutes before they're fully cooked. And then we'll talk about what we're going to do with the sauce, the pasta, a beautiful salad, and a nice dessert of a tiramisu. But let's concentrate on what's the main star today is the pasta and the meatballs. And I happen to have some pasta right here that we made for you. And this is going to be a beautiful tagliatelle made with, of course, beautiful egg yolks. And that's how you can tell that the color is so golden and orange. And this particular pasta, when we go to cook it later, is going to cook in a minute. So don't go any longer than that, and we'll do it together out here. And we'll have fun putting it in the sauce with the little meatballs. So let's get you guys started on. Go ahead and grab a tray, Roman. And let's start making of the meatballs. We're going to make it the meatballs now, everybody at home. Hope you're having fun out there, because we're having fun right here. Look at these guys. They're ready. Okay, so now let's grab a golf ball, both of you. There you go. Perfect, perfect. You know, it's up to you. If you have a cut on your hand about gloves, I don't wear gloves unless I don't want to get my hands messed up. Because this is going to go in an oven. You're cooking at home. You're going to come out at probably 200 degrees in the inside of a meatball. So bacteria can't live past 165, by the way. So you should have an instruction sheet like this. But this is a pretty easy recipe. We made it pretty easy for you right now. The test will be on next Thursday. All right, so we have the sheet. You're following along. So let me tell you a story about some meatballs. So when we were kids, we were probably 7 or 8 years old, living in upstate New York. There was a place on the corner of where we lived in an Italian neighborhood called Tony's Spaghetti House. And I couldn't really afford to go inside and eat there. So I used to go in there and save up my money for a meatball tunnel. And I don't know if anybody knows out there what a meatball tunnel is, but a meatball tunnel is taking a bread or a roll and cutting it. And you have to hollow out everything on the inside. And once you hollow the inside out, what they did at Tony's Spaghetti House, put the meatballs, the sauce, and the mozzarella, and they layer it. And then you set it in something that they can cook in the oven, standing up like this. And now you have a beautiful meatball tunnel. And I used to sit on the steps down near where the cellar was going. And I would eat my meatball tunnel right there in Tony's Spaghetti House. I don't think that place is there anymore, but it was wonderful memories. So meatballs to me are a memoristic dish. They're going to bring back memories of childhood and just eating with family. And you know, when you get a bowl of sausage, a bowl of meatballs, you got the sauce, and then you have a salad afterwards. Just a wonderful family meal that we're missing. And I'm glad everybody at home today and tonight can enjoy that feeling that I remember having so many times, and I'm glad I can help you. So now you should be done or close to being done rolling the meatballs. So I'm gonna let these young assistants here help me get it in the oven, and we'll let that cook while we talk about the salad and the dessert, and we're gonna cook some pasta. But I wanna time this because if the meatballs cook, and I don't want them to get cold, so I'm gonna kind of time it so the meatballs are gonna come out of the oven at the same time as I'm taking the pasta out of the water, okay?
Hey Mark,
Yeah.
is there any good way that I should roll this kind of like in my palm like this?
Sometimes it's a little trick, a cool trick to know. Let me help you here with that.
Okay.
For some reason, Roman, you always ask me the good questions. I don't know about you. That's a good one. So now if you dip your hand in there, both of you, if you want to get a smoother. Now if you're home and you have a convection oven, let's go back to that now. The fan's going to be blowing. That's going to cook a lot faster and actually a lot better than a normal oven. Because we always had convection ovens, and the oil that's going to come out, or the fat that's going to melt and create oil come out of your meatball, it's got to go somewhere. And when the fan hits it, it sort of seals it. So the meatball now is getting crispy on the outside and actually frying itself with its own oil. So here you are air frying a meatball, so it's a lot healthier. And then you get a nice crispness on it. So if you have the convection oven, that'd be the one to use. If you have a regular oven that doesn't have the fan, it still cooks, but it doesn't get that crispy edge. All right, so they're rolling the meatballs out really nice. And now we have the beautiful pasta, and we use egg yolks like I told you in this pasta, and this is a tagliatelle cut. Why? Because it almost looks like a fettuccine to some of the people, but this is an Italian tagliatelle. Very light, it's going to cook in a minute. Very, very nice. And while you're rolling the meatballs, let's talk a little bit about a guy we met here just before we came here, and I started closing down the restaurant from the government. We had this beautiful basil and a guy named Basil Bob, and he brought us this beautiful stuff that was probably on the vine maybe 2 hours ago. So now, here, come over here. Put your nose right here. See that? Oh, man, I mean, look at that. I mean, I've been around basil a long time, but nothing like this. This stuff right here is very fragrant. So I think in a box up and coming for you people at home, we get so much of this basil that we're going to give everybody that orders a box a little bag of basil to bring home with them. I think that's a great idea. So now our time is still, we have a lot of time. So let's go ahead and let's put this in the oven now, because we can always pull it out halfway. So while Roman puts that in the oven, let me show you the salad that you got tonight, and it's enough for 4 people or more. This beautiful salad, I'm going to let my assistants tell you about it right now. It is pretty though.
What do you know about this salad?
It's fresh, and
What are some of the ingredients that
some of the
there.
ingredients are watermelon,
radish?
radish, peas, baby tomatoes.
Do you know what kind of cheese that is?
No, I didn't tell her. It's my turn to tell her. It's my turn to tell her. I never told you what that was. That's a ricotta salata from Sicily. See, we're all experts here. But anyway, you're home. You're going to have this beautiful salad. So all you want to do now, when I had this salad the other day, we made a basil dressing with it. And so what you want to do when you have that basil dressing, if you want to toss it in your salad, that's okay. But this is such a delicate, leafy lettuce that you might want to just drizzle it on top when you get it at the table. And then every time you grab it with the fork, you're going to get a little dressing and a little of the leaves at the same time. And that's kind of how you want to do it. If you toss it, when it comes to the table, it's going to be wilted immediately. So just put it on top if you can, and it'll be perfect. And that cheese is going to add a nice bite to it that really is pleasant with this whole experience. So beautiful, healthy salad for part of the meal today. And let me go grab a nice dessert so I can show you. Move that salad off of there, guys. Yeah, okay, so this has been around for a while now. This is really the traditional way of making tiramisu. I've seen a lot of versions how they serve it in a glass, or you might see it. But this tiramisu, we've been making for years, and it's the typical ladyfinger, mascarpone cheese, beautiful when you make a whipped cream and you sweeten it and you fold it in with the mascarpone cheese, and then you have to make something very special. You have to make a zebayon. And let me grab something to show you. This is the perfect vessel to make a zebayon. You can make a zebayon with like a spumante, or Marcella wine is famous, it has to be Italian. And what we're going to do, we're going to kind of whip it up really fast in a blender with slowly egg yolks and Marsala wine, and then we put this on some steam. One day we'll show you the whole thing, and this is a very nice, the way it works in here, it just gets really nice, it gets a nice rise to it, and then we can use that to fold in when it cools off into our other ingredients. But you have it right here already done for you, and this is really nice, and wow. So when you ask what's cooking, Chef Marc, there's a lot of what's cooking with Chef Marc, but right now you even have to cook a lot for this dessert. You have to make espresso, and look how beautiful this is. Again, the aroma, huh? Too close.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the meatballs are in the oven, right? Meatballs are in the oven. I'm gonna put my water up now. We're gonna get this baby boiling. You have your water on at home, you're gonna drop your pasta, but it's early, so I'm just gonna let it start going. And then we're gonna add salt to it. I'm gonna put about 2 tablespoons of salt in mine. Nice salt in the water is always a good thing.
Does it do anything to the pasta when you put salt?
It adds a lot of flavor. Without the salt, the pasta tastes bland. So the more salted, if you like salt, you can add a little extra. But salt in the water is important. Never mind the oil, but salt in the water is always important. Very, very good. All right, so in your instructions, now you're gonna see, where are we, Roman?
We just put the meatballs in.
Meatballs are in the oven,
Yeah.
okay? Salad was talked about.
Do the sauce.
The sauce we can go, good, that's perfect. So now we can show you about the sauce, but while you guys are doing the sauce over there, grab the sauce, put it right here. I want to tell these people a story because they're all my friends out there, and I have a story for you. This pan's a little warm, so let's let it cool off for a minute before we get in trouble here. There's something that I thought and I want to do wrong. So anybody there that's a wine drinker, I want to ask you something. Do you see a little black rooster on the top of the wine bottle? And you probably have seen it. Even if you don't have it at home, you know what I'm talking about. So this isn't wine, this is water, I promise. And maybe it is wine. The rooster on the bottle came from a story that I know from the Medici family, who was the big banker in the 1400s and the 1300s. And this is Florence, Italy, okay? Different than Siena, and that's another story about the rooster. But this story about the rooster is for the wine bottle. And the Medici family, as being big bankers, they controlled a lot of things. But Giuliani Medici was a big partier, and he was the kind of guy that liked to have festivals. Not a party, a festival for the whole town. He don't care who you are, just come and have fun, drink, get drunk, and have fun. Well, the Prizzis were their enemy. And they were people that were maybe Roman, more Roman than the Florentines. So they wanted to come and they wanted to destroy the Medici family. So what happened was they told Mr. Medici, Giuliani, that there was going to be a festival in his honor and all this. So he fell for it and he wanted to have a party. And when he got drunk, this is when the Prizzis were going to plan on coming and getting rid of him, attacking him. Well, there was a field of roosters between that plan and their success. And what happened was the roosters made a lot of noise. It woke up the Medici guards. When the Prizzis entered, they got scared. They were shocked by these noises, and so they were defeated. And the Medicis wanted to honor the rooster. So they did. They put now on the bottles of wine Chianti, because Chianti is specific to that region of Florence. And also they have the rooster that Mr. Medici had the pottery guys make a bunch of little mugs for all the people in town, especially the peasants, so they can drink their wine in the rooster mug that the pottery guys made back then. So it's a pretty cool story anyway. My water's getting now to the point where it's boiling pretty good. The meatballs are there, probably now another 7-8 minutes. So you at home, this what an easy meal this is, what a tasty meal this is. It's all coming to you from What's Cooking with Chef Marc. Oh, that sounds kind of cool. And so this is the sauce we made. Now a lot of times in my restaurant you get a Sunday sauce. This is the marinara because I don't know at home who doesn't eat pork, who does. So I made this specifically because my meatballs are 100% beef. They don't have any other mixes of veal or anything in there, although you can do that if you like. But the sauce is a marinara, which is a Neapolitan tomato crushed up with certain seasonings. But if you want it to be more of a meat flavored sauce, when the meatballs come out of the oven, you add them to the sauce and let them simmer there for a few minutes. And then when you serve your pasta with the meatballs in the sauce, you have that more meaty flavor. If you want to leave them separate, then you put the meatballs on top at the end. It's all up to you how you want to taste and how you want the flavor to be. So we are kind of just waiting for the meatballs to cook. And we are talking about the next step here. So let's get the sauce going because it's okay now, a little bit here. So We have a pot of the sauce. And you know what we're going to do over here? Let's do something like this. Let's take a little bit of this basil. Throw it in just like that, nice and nice, beautiful. Okay, you know what else is really good in sauce? This is something that personally I do all the time. It's going to be a little warm. We just want to add a little bit of raw, really good extra virgin olive oil. This is a Sicilian olive oil. And what it does, it wakes everything up. And you can see it in the sauce right now. It's just glistening on top. You know, you go in a real Italian home, you're always going to have that olive oil that's going to be present in a lot of things, and especially the sauce. You'll see it, and it tastes delicious. So I'm going to put that on the heater now. We can actually probably drop our pasta pretty soon. So let's get some of this pasta right here. How's everybody doing at home? How do your hands smell? How's the kitchen smelling? The meatballs making everything smell? I like that. Okay, everyone. So now we're gonna take this thing and we're gonna really boost it up a little bit here, because look at this pasta. Just loosen it up. It was in a bag a little while. It might be a little stuck together. Just get your fingers under it and kind of go like that, and you'll fluff it up. And let's get it in the water. Bada boom, just like that. My water's already salted, ready to go. That water's important, so don't throw it out. I'll show you what to do with that in a minute. How many meatballs? Anybody got 8 meatballs or 10? That tell me how big you made them. If you made a golf ball into a softball, we're in trouble over there. All right, good. Okay, so now the sauce looks, it's getting warm pretty good right now. Let's check it out. That's gonna be all right. Pasta looks good. That pasta's almost done, just went down. When you have fresh pasta, you cook it so it's flexible. When you have dry pasta, you cook it till it's al dente. If you overcook fresh pasta, it's mushy. If you overcook dry pasta, it's mushy. But this doesn't get al dente like the stuff you buy in a box that takes 8 minutes or so. This pasta, when it's cooked right, is a flexibility to it and a snap. That's the beautiful fresh pasta does. So let's get that out right now. And I want some of this pasta water. I'm pulling it out without a strainer. Why am I pulling it out without a strainer? Because I want to. Because this is going to make, the water is like a stock now. It created lots of flavor. It's a little salty. It has the little starch in it. This is really nice to bind everything together. I want a little more water. So you see that? That's a flavor. And that's it right there. Now you can take that right there. You can take a little olive oil. You could take a little bit of fresh cracked pepper, just a little bit, and a little bit of nice sea salt, which I'll show you right now. This is beautiful stuff that we do in the back here. We have a beautiful Maldon salt. This is from, I think that's England. And we'll just toss this up a little bit. And then I'm gonna put one ladle right there. All right, let's get soon. I'm just gonna warm this up a little bit. You see what I did? I saved that pan because what that is, there's steam coming up. And if let's say I don't have another gas, which I don't right now, I can take the sauce off, I can move things around, but all you can put it right here. It won't cook it, but it'll keep it warm. Even if you have a plate and you wanted to warm the plate up because you want to put something on that plate that maybe the food you don't want to get cold right away. You can just keep your plate on top of the pot that had pasta in it that still has hot steam coming up. Well, it'll be perfect for you. So a little trick you can use whenever you want right there. Okay, guys, you ready for everything now? Mm-hmm. Let's go check them meatballs. So you need a dry towel. Dry towel. Here you go.
There you go.
I have a towel for you.
I got a towel. Thank you.
So my nephew's been around food for a long time, so I trust him in the oven. You can pull them out. That oven's very hot. Wow, beautiful. Yeah, so listen, Ro. Land them meatballs right on this towel, my man. There you go. Alrighty, so our meatballs are done. I don't know where you're at, but very nice. Whew. Okay, beautiful. Now, you remember what you asked me what this is for?
Yeah.
This is for that. So these are very hot, as you can tell. You can hear them sizzling right here. Now, if you want to at home, just let these rest. But I'm going to go the next step, which I told you about, which is taking the meatballs to the sauce. Because what happens now is you're going to flavor. So we'll leave some like this. And we'll take a few and put them in a sauce. That's going to add a beautiful flavor of the meat. There we go. To the sauce. Let that heat up a little bit together. And you'll see the difference if you want to do it that way. Loosen these up. They cook nice. That oven's cooked really nice. Because these are crispy. And that is not a convection oven. And these meatballs are crispy because of the intense heat. And I know they're going to be beautiful on the inside. Let's cut one open together, see what it looks like here. Perfectly cooked all the way through. And it's probably, let's see, nice and soft and crispy on the outside. And I'm going to say something they said along, that's a meatball right there, I'll tell you. That's funny. All right, so let's see where we're at now. A spicy meatball from a long time ago. I remember that commercial. There we go. All right. You got a dish for me, Roman? You guys got a nice plate?
Yes, I do.
Let's put that right here. Let us get this food plated now, right away. Okay, the pasta is nice now. Absorb some of that water. Now you're going to do it individually at home, or you want to do it family style. Just take a pair of tongs. Your pasta's really nice and perfect temperature. It's coated already. It has a seasoning on it. It's coated with nice tomatoes, just like that. I'm going to add some of these meatballs that are crispy and dry on the outside and moist on the inside on one side of the plate. And then over here we have the flavor of the meatballs. So if you're home, you know, people can get their own plate and you can share it that way, the way they want to eat it. But either way, one right in the middle. You guys having fun?
Oh yeah.
You learning anything? So let's go here. And the ones that didn't go on the sauce, let's leave the sauce off of them. And we'll just do it like this. The plate, beautiful. And we'll put a little parsley, a little basil on there. So you're here, what's cooking with Chef Marc? I have a beautiful plate of meatballs and fresh pasta. You're home eating the same thing we're here eating. I hope you're having fun. I hope you enjoy yourself here. And Chef Marc's, any questions at home, I'd like to hear them. Pretty easy one this week, huh? I think I'm going to make it more challenging in the future. Because
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
It's Mayor Pro Tem Michelle Fiore.
Ah, nice. Very cool. Nice to see you. Thank you for calling in.
I love that. That's so fabulous coming from an Italian.
We're just trying to have some fun and lighten it up out there, everybody. That's what we're doing here. We're here for you every day. So, thank you.
Wonderful meal, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So enjoy the pasta. It should be cooked perfectly because you take it out of the water, it stops it from cooking. But do you want to put it in cold water and blanch it? Not when you're going to eat it like this fresh. So we put it right in the pan with the sauce and we can hold it there. That'll stop the cooking. It won't be starchy because you added a little pasta water. Remember, we added a little water to it. If you want home and you like butter in that stage is going to be good because it's going to coat the pasta. But I use the olive oil today. That's my favorite. But this is what we do here, and this is how we serve the pasta to you. And I hope you enjoy the way we did it today for you at home, because that's the way you do it. You put the pasta in the pan, you don't put the sauce on top of the pasta. You put the pasta in the pan, and you mix them together. That's how you serve pasta. So only one question. This must have been an easy one for everybody. How's the meatballs? Anybody eat one yet? They said, yep. Very cool. I wonder. Okay, so anything? What'd you learn today? Yeah, please. Hi.
How much of the Parmesan cheese do I put in the meatball? All of it?
All of it that came with. How many packages did you get? Okay, one is for you to use extra, like on top of your pasta, and one is for the meatballs.
Okay.
Very good. Good question. Thank you. Thank you. We very nice. Thank you so much. Let's do it. How much time do I have? So let's do a story, the other story of the rooster. So we'll 2 for 1 today. So the other story of the rooster, and this is also a story from the 1370. So what they did was, Siena, which is a town just like Florence, but they call it the Little Florence, and Siena is a town in Tuscany that grows Sangiovese grapes. And it's a really cool place to visit because they have a chariot race every July, and it's still like the old days, and it's a very neat town. But a lot of people don't go there. They go to Florence. Florence is bigger, has the bigger name, but still, it's a small, big city. So when you go to Florence and you hear this story, I'll tell you the way I heard it. The Florence and Siena were always getting in kind of like a little war almost, because they wanted to know where their boundaries were. And Florence and then the heads decided that they were going to meet with them, and they were going to have their knights race from the center of each town when the cock crowed in the morning, so that wherever they met, that would divide the boundaries, and it would be fair. So I think it was the Medicis probably, but they put their rooster in a cage for like 2 days and didn't feed him or anything, and he was very mean and ornery. And then when they decided to get their knight on the horse and get ready to go, their cock crowed much earlier than the one in Siena did. So they got off to an early start, and today that's why Florence is a much bigger region than Siena. Or that's what I heard anyway, and I think I'm going to stick to that story. So what do you think of that? True or false?
How long ago was that?
1370 something, I think, right around that era. Yeah, that was before a lot. But there were a lot of artists back then, you know. Okay, so thank